Good evening. I'm going to be discussing the medication Rexulti, which is a brand name for bexpiprozole, brexpiprazole, 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 brexpiprazole. Um, so the main claim that's made in this ad, it's a commercial, is basically that for people who are taking some type of depression medication and not maybe seeing the results they want, um, in patients that added Rexulti to their regimen, the claim is there's a 62%, uh, I guess, increase in efficacy. Not necessarily per person, but in individuals treated out of, per 100, I suppose. So in the ad, they do provide uh, a nice little graph showing 62%, and it states uh, a little bit of fine print about the study involved, saying, of course, things like individual results may vary and the results are not necessarily typical. Um, and there's no reference for that study. Looking at uh, the research, or excuse me, the resource page for the substance, it did not immediately yield results in that area, in terms of locating, uh, you know, any information at all on whatever study that says brexpiprazole is beneficial when added to standard depression medications. Also, I don't see, it's definitely not in the ad. I didn't see anywhere in or on the website where it talks about, um, you know, which medications you may be taking that are good. It does. I didn't see that anywhere. So perhaps it's just a chemical thing broadly, but knowing that there are different pathways towards some of this regulation, I found it strange that they didn't specifically mention at least generic names for um, the or maybe not generic, maybe it's the wrong term, but just like the actual, uh, name of the drug, the actual drug names, regardless of any branding that it would be good with. Or even more strange, I guess, from a capitalist perspective, is why there's not like, maybe there's some legality behind this because it is a, seen as a conflict of interest between the companies and the patients. But um, I'm surprised it's not like partnerships where, like, you know, Rexulti amazing with Prozac, or something like that, where it's actively advertising. Like, you know, you figure it's some parent company is maybe owning one on both sides, of course. This Brex Piprazole additive, and then some type of original medication too. So I just found that strange. Not that I want that to be there per se. Um, in terms of, what is uh, beneficial, there's also, it didn't really provide any testimonials in the ad. It says, really quickly, there's a paid actor at the beginning. Um, so there's not really any way to that I could see. Certainly not if you're just catching this commercial on television or something, that a patient would be able to fact check the claims at all, um, or even see the research that, pardon me, backs up the claim that, it does the thing that it says that it does. But of course, overall, the basic positive offering of Rexulti is an increase in proposed efficacy with existing depression med regimens. Hey, if your meds aren't quite working, and you're still feeling really depressed, here's some more meds maybe that makes it work better. So, that's, I guess, good. Certainly, if you can get your meds to work better and get more of the results that you're looking for in taking the meds to begin with. Um, so, basic indication is Rexulti is a prescription medicine used along with an antidepressant medicine to treat major depressive disorder in adults. It is not known if Rexulti is safe and effective in children. So, just first of all, that. Um, Really important safety information: increased risk of death in elderly people with dementia related psychoses. Um, Medicines like Rexulti can raise the risk of death in elderly people who have lost touch with reality due to confusion and memory loss. Not approved for those with dementia or Alzheimer's. Increased risk of suicidal thoughts and actions. May increase suicidal thoughts and action in some people 24 and younger, especially within the first few months of treatment or when the dose is changed. Depression and other mental health illnesses are most important causes of suicidal thoughts and actions. So it may get better or it may get worse. Okay. Uh, Rexulti may cause serious side effects, including, and so grab a drink and a snack or whatever. Go to the bathroom real quick. We can take 20 seconds for a break because this is going to be a little bit here. Let's see. Cerebrovascular problems, including stroke in elderly people with dementia-related psychosis that can lead to death. Neuroleptic malignant syndrome, NMS, is a serious condition that can lead to death. Uncontrolled body movements, tardive dyskinesis, Rexulti may cause movements that you cannot control in your face, tongue, or other body parts, and it may not go away even after you stop taking Rexulti. Problems with your metabolism, such as high blood pressure and diabetes, are possible. Increased fat levels, cholesterol and triglycerides in your blood, so not necessarily like in your gut, in your belly, or your cheeks, or your butt, but in your blood vessels. Okay. Weight gain. Okay, so there's the other stuff. Unusual and uncontrollable compulsive urges. Some people taking Rexulti have had strong, unusual urges to gamble, and gambling that cannot be controlled. Okay. Also including sexual urges, shopping, eating, or binge eating. A few of your family members. Oh, yeah. Okay, so low white blood cell count, decreased blood pressure, orthostic hypotension, and fainting, falling, as most likely resulting from feeling dizzy, lightheaded, or other things associated with fainting, possible convulsive seizures, problems controlling your body temperature so that you consistently feel too warm. Definitely do not become too hot or dehydrated during treatment with Rexulti. Do not exercise too much. In hot weather, stay inside in a cool place if possible. Okay, wow. Stay out of the sun. Do not wear too much clothing or heavy clothing and drink plenty of water. Well, that last part, probably good advice for most people. Difficulty swallowing. Okay, that doesn't sound great. That can cause food or liquid to get into your lungs. Oh, wow. So not just that, like, it's hard to swallow, but that you can't actually perhaps close your epiglottis properly and stuff is just leaking into your lungs. Sleepiness, drowsiness, feeling tired, difficulty thinking and doing normal activities. Okay, well that's... Whew, wow. That's pretty benign with the company it's keeping by comparison. And of course, as is typical with many prescription medications, always doctors should be informed if there's high cholesterol, have had diabetes, hypotension, stroke or heart problems, liver or kidney problems, seizures, blood problems, white blood cell, red blood cell count problems, pregnant or planning to become pregnant. Okay, wow, that was just like quite a list of stuff there that I'm risking to maybe allow my depressive medicine to work a bit better, including it make it much, much worse. So that just seems like, wow, that's a lot. That was just literally a lot that I just read there. Wow. Let's see. Moving on. I will say, though, that in the ad, literally half of the ad. The first half is like, sad face actor, like literally with a paper cutout of a sad face she's holding, um, you know, acting like she is not happy. And then the second half of the ad is um, just, that announcer guy voice naming off side effects. And it's about a minute and a half, minute 45-second ad. So it's like literally the fully half of the ad is just the person naming off all the side effects like I did. And not necessarily that pace, but at a pace they can be heard. So, to the credit, I guess, of the producers of this ad, they are forthcoming about a lot of the negative side effects that one might incur, and it's not done in such a way that it's unintelligible but accessible. Um, so, yeah, high potential impact, I guess, for good or ill here. Oh, pardon me. Okay, so looking at ethical considerations from the ad. Truthfully, it didn't seem very unethical, I guess, if you consider that just like this type of medication existing to begin with. If you think that's ethical, then like nothing about the ad itself would be like a breach of those ethics. Was it misleading? Not particularly. I mean, again, without being able to verify the science behind the claim or even like look at it, it's hard to say. It can't be scrutinized and declared outrightly misleading with like this specific 62% figure that it provided. But obviously that's possible. But again, it's not easily verifiable. But based off the way that the ad appeared, assuming, of course, that figure is accurate, and some studies actually do exist that substantiate that, even though I can't find them, I would say it's not misleading. It seems relatively straightforward. It's like, hey, this thing may do this for you, but also there's a lot of side effects you're risking in trying it. Was there exaggeration? It didn't really seem so. Like the lady in the ad seemed like, I'm taking my meds and I guess they're not working. And she sits down with the doctor, and the doctor's like, oh, sometimes when people add this to it, it makes it better. So, it didn't really seem like they were blowing the claim out of proportion. Again, assuming that 62% figure is indeed accurate. Omission of details. Well, yes, certainly, as I've already mentioned, they omitted any details surrounding the substantiation of the data behind the claim. So that, I just, it's a pretty clear omission. Pardon me. Oh, it's late. So in terms of exploitation of vulnerable populations, I guess I find that a little strange of a sticking point, because it's like all medications are looking to take advantage of a vulnerable population. Nobody's looking to take prescription medication because they're A-okay, right? They're like having a problem and they're then looking to make it better somehow, outside of themselves, which means that whoever offering whatever, curatives may be, like, this person is, to a degree, like at their mercy or whatever, so like all of these ads, any medical ad period, I think, or prescription drug ad period that's on like normal TV at least, is looking to prey upon, or excuse me, exploit a vulnerable population. It's about making money here. These aren't like the more you know, like PSA, so you make sure you get the right med when you go to the doctor or something, as like a public service announcement or whatever. They're advertisements selling a product to a consumer base, specifically a consumer base that has medical problems, and is looking to make themselves not have those problems anymore. So, vulnerable population exploitation, I'm going to go with yes. Conflicts of interest between the pharmaceutical industry and the patient well-being, not really sure. I guess precisely what the intent of questioning behind that. I mean, it would seem like, I don't know what the intentions are specifically of the makers of this drug. I imagine the company producing it and selling it has the intention of profiting. But the people that invented it, maybe they really just wanted antidepressants to be more successful. And they really believe in like the medicative paradigm. Um, so I guess, conflict of interest in the legal sense, I don't think so. I mean, it's a product ad, it's advertising it. I don't know what the exact legal specifications on what, like, I guess the FEC, is that right? Would they allow on being, I guess maybe would the FDA regulate that? Yeah, I guess it'd be an FDA regulation that determines what can be advertised, what has to be advertised or what has to be shared. So again, that's a hard one for me. It seems like there's just speculation around it, one way or the other. I'm not sure what a scenario would look like where there was a clear conflict of interest, um, unless maybe there's like the medication is being sold without full research being done or something. But if it's been approved by the FDA, there's like a basic consumer assumption that it has been approved to a certain degree. But all in all, summarizing my vignette here on Rexulti, that'd be like I'd be having to find myself, I think, very, very desperate, already taking a medication, to add in the possibility of all the stuff that comes with this, not knowing how I might respond, knowing that if I'm already in like a chronically depressive state, the environment of my genetic expression is not necessarily the most abundantly resilient and robust, right? So, kind of thinking that that's a factor in like how many, and to what degree these side effects are occurring and taking place in a person. So yeah, I don't know. This is a very interesting thing. I don't think I would ever recommend something like this. I would probably recommend like some psychology around, being aware of like what the goals were with the medications. It was expectation that, I take this antidepressant and then everything's better, and now that didn't happen, so I want to add another drug to it, and that's just happening without a discussion with someone who knows how I'm feeling about things. There's not enough information for anything like that to be extrapolated on like the target audience of this ad or whatever. But in summary, I would not recommend. Thank you.